Hello, everyone, and welcome to Maggie's Possum Journey. We are all freshened up after the long drive that it took us to reach Thekkady, and Maggie, as well, is completely refreshed for a new set of mischiefs to start off. Well, once we were all freshened up, we came down to have our lunch so that we could start our day at Thekkady. We got Maggie out as well from the bottom of the bed, and she finally was ready to come out when we told her that we'll show you a lot of flowers and we'll come down, meet people. There were many people that were coming into the homestay and the restaurant that was there, and Maggie was more than happy to meet them. This homestay was actually maintained by a very hardworking auntie who took care of the place very well. The place was adorned with a lot of flowers and beautiful kinds of leaves. Could recognize some of them, but some of them were texturally so beautiful, but I'd never seen them earlier. I believe the weather condition here actually helped all these kind of plants sustain so well. Well, we had ordered for lunch and we were terribly hungry, but before that, I had asked Auntie to prepare a few chapatis for Maggie, which were plain and would be oil free and free of salt, so that I could give Maggie some fresh homemade rotis, chapatis, parathas, call them whatever it is. Not paratha, yes, rotis, of course. There are many restrictions for Maggie, and no oil, no sugar, no salt are definitely on top of the list. So these were absolutely plain rotis. At home, Maggie goes gluten free when she eats. But on the roads, I think all of us are off our diets, off our regular roads. And although it is not harmful for Maggie at all, but we try and avoid giving her whole wheat rotis when it comes to her health. But once in a while, like today, was absolutely fine. And you can see how much she was enjoying this hot homemade rotis for her. Well, after 2 days, Maggie has gotten some homemade food because she has been on packaged food and some boiled eggs. Since Maggie was a very small child, I would give her only home cooked food. It would give me a lot of comfort, and of course, what better than preservative free food? So she is used to home food, and I've realized that she actually loves it the best. And even apart from other things, she's most fond of the homemade foods that are there. So we fed her and we told her, Maggie, you take some rest. We will quickly explore the town and come back. She was happy to sleep. So now, as I told you, the Thekkady had amazing cultural background and amazing places to watch a lot of cultural and heritage oriented activities. We headed to a place that had both Kathakali and Kalaripayattu together in one campus. Both of them are absolutely two heritages of Kerala. Kathakali is an Indian classical dance form that originated in Kerala, and Kalaripayattu is an Indian martial art that originated in Kerala during the 11th to 12th century. Well, did you know Kalaripayattu was once banned by the British as they felt that there was a political and military threat posed by the warriors of Kerala who were well trained in Kalari and used it naturally as a means of defense and rebellion against the British rule. Well, after I saw it live, I was not surprised that the Britishers might have been really afraid of this extremely powerful form of martial art. I am so amazed and also feel so happy that owing to the medium of media, social media, a lot of this is being told. These stories are known worldwide, and everybody in India and across the globe know what rich culture heritage India holds in itself. Today, when we went in to watch the Kalaripayattu performance, we realized that there were many people who had come in from cross borders, from many other countries to watch these performances. And it is wonderful. They are going to take home back this huge heritage, a very old culture of India, and spread it large and wide. Well, all these things that we see on television, I tell you, are nothing compared to what we saw live. It was such an exhaustive form and so difficult and very scary at times, like the fire act, when they had their goddesses idol right there and they would pray for their safety, and after every completion of a complete stunt they would actually bow their heads down, thanking the goddess for their safety. Well, that was much required. We loved this performance, we were mesmerized, speechless, but we had to keep our energies intact because right after that we had to watch the Kathakali performance. Well, Kathakali combines devotion, drama, dance, music, costume, and makeup into a divine experience for all who get to view it. It retells mythological and epic stories of the past. So, when we went there for the first time in my life, I saw something extremely unique. The artist was actually dressing in front of us on the stage because Kathakali has layers of costumes one on top of the other, and also the makeup that is done is extremely exclusive. By getting dressed in front of their audiences, they created an unusual connect. We could see how difficult this dressing up was, and the dress that they wore, how heavy it was. And when they would perform, it would not just be their expressions facial, but also the huge baggage of this costume that they were wearing that had to be carried with grace and with dignity. Well, the gentleman that you can see had the mic holding on, sang so beautifully that I just couldn't help but admire. I was missing Maggie a lot, and quickly, thankfully, it was time to get back to her. When I reached home, she was happily sleeping. Gave her some water, a quick walk, and when we took her to the balcony just to sit and chit chat, and all of us were there, Maggie was in a mood of exploring the place. She kept looking out of the balcony. Today, I thought, let me do something fun. So I hid my camera inside a bag and kept right in front of us so that you all could also get a glimpse of what the session between the three of us generally is at home. You know, Maggie is extremely intelligent, and whenever I hold on the mobile or the camera on her face, trying to shoot her, trying to capture a photograph, it is Maggie in a different conscious mood. But this time, when the mobile phone was actually hid to capture and record Maggie's activity, she was not quite aware. Or so I think that she was not aware. But this is how Maggie is with us. We have no rules, we just sit, we do our own thing, sometimes we just chit chat among ourselves, but Maggie makes sure that she is around us in some way or the other. This time she chose under the table, and you know, it would be like she's aloof, but that is not right. She's listening to each and every word, each and every conversation that we are saying. In between, when there were words like car, fun, going out, food, roti, things that she knows, it actually raised her curiosity, and she knows that this is also a conversation that I must be part of. Well, it is a very organic part of the video, which may not be cinematographically absolutely perfect, but it is still very close to our hearts. It depicts the only way that we like to be with each other, in each other's company, without any rules. Well, Maggie sat and she listened to how we spent the entire day. My husband and I were mesmerized by the two performances that we saw. We were discussing how we would take forward the next day. How was the road trip so far? Any problems, any hiccups? Or should we carry on the way we planned earlier? I wanted Maggie to say something in between, but she rather lay down and quietly listened to us because she had her food, her tummy was full. So we decided before we off to sleep, one last time we'll take out Maggie for a good night walk, not too long, but a short walk, a little stroll, and we would also get the little jitters of this windy night. The weather was really cold and we had not expected it, but we were enjoying winters nevertheless. That's the best kind of weather among all the weathers that is. Well, the next day we had planned that we are going to move out a little early, and for that we had to wrap up the night quickly. So my husband said, let's take out Maggie for a walk. And even before we knew, we had a good night and sound sleep, and it was the next morning. My husband took out Maggie to the balcony the next morning and was showing her different kinds of flowers and dogs that were there on the other side of the gate. There were also sounds of birds early morning. I had spotted this beautiful blue colored bird, small little one. I wish I had lenses that could capture it, but the bird flew off. There were squirrels too that I showed Maggie. She got a little scared because she had never seen a squirrel before, but she now insisted that please don't show me from the balcony, take me out for a walk. And it was quite fair. So my husband thought, let's give Maggie the last walk of Thekkady and have breakfast and we'll go out. Maggie, as usual, was absolutely happy to be headed towards the outside world for the walk. My husband took her out. We had a hearty breakfast, said thank you to Auntie for such great hospitality. We packed our bags and we were ready for our next destination. The next destination, I tell you, was an absolute thrill for all of us. The entire family enjoyed the trip like anything. So I'm also excited to share with you. But for now, I would say bye-bye, and I would expect you all to give a lot of love back. And bye-bye, hugs from Maggie.